Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. And in today's video, we're going to discuss lesson 3.2, which is all about multiplying and dividing decimals. So before we start, I would just like to remind you very quickly of how we multiply decimals. Multiplying decimals is just like the normal multiplication. If I have a question like this, 4 multiplied 0.3 is just exactly the same as if you're multiplying 4 by 3. So ignore the decimal point. This is the first thing. So 4 times 3 is actually 12. After that, I put one digit only after the decimal point, one digit only on the right side of the point. So it is going to be 1.2. Let's continue the same way exactly. 7 times 4 is 28, but I have one digit after the point, so it is 2.8. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. I have one digit after the decimal point, so it's negative 0.9. The same thing exactly with the rest of the questions, the same technique exactly. You can check the answers from the answer key that is sent to you or to your parents. Question 2 here is saying to here is an example of how we can work out 12 divided by 0.3. Just let's agree on one thing. You cannot start dividing if the denominator or if the divisor, the number that is after division sign, is a decimal. If it's a decimal, you must make it a whole number. The number that is after the division sign must be a whole number. So here is going to be multiplied by 10, and whatever is done to it must be done to the other side, which is also multiplying by 10. Then the new question becomes 120 divided by 3. So what is 120 divided by 3? Let me erase this weird 3 that I wrote. Yes, you're going to find that it is 40 exactly. Starting with the questions here, 6 divided by 0.3. Can I? No, I can't. The number that is after the division sign must be a whole number. So I'm going to multiply it by, to make it a whole number, I need to multiply it by 10. Whatever happened here must happen to the other number there. So it is going to be 60 divided by 3. 60 divided by 3, which is 20. This is the final answer. Multiplying this also by 10, multiplying this also by 10 becomes 80 divided by 2. 80 divided by 2, which is 40. Multiplying this by 10, multiplying this by 10 makes this negative 90 divided by 1, which is just negative 90. Multiplying this also by 10 and this by 10 makes it 120 divided by 4, which is 30. Multiplying this by 100, I need to make it a whole number, so I need to move the decimal point 2 digits to the right. So multiplying it by 100, both sides is going to become 600 divided by negative 2, which is negative 300. Multiplying this by 100 as well to make it a whole number, so it becomes 800 divided by 4, so 800 divided by 4, which is 200. Multiplying this by 100, both sides becomes actually negative 1600 divided by negative 8. So negative divided by negative is actually going to be positive. But 1600 divided by 8 is going to give you 200. In multiplication, we agreed we're going to ignore the decimal point. So just let's ignore the decimal point, then we put it at the end. 4 times 3 is 12. I have one digit after the point, so one digit after the point this way. 3 times 11, 33. One digit after the point, so one digit here. 2 times 70, 140. I have two digits after the point, then two digits after the point. 13 times 2, 36. One digit is after the point. 8 times, oh, first semester the sign, positive times negative is negative. 8 times 3 is 24, but I have two digits after the point, so two digits after the point. Here I have positive times negative is negative. I have 5 times 111, so it is 5, 5, 5. Then I have 2 digits after the point, so it is negative 5.55. 4 times 9 is 36. I have 1 digit after the point, then 3.6. 14 times 2 is 28. I have 2 digits after the point, then I need 2 digits after the point this way. Positive times negative is negative. 9 times 9 is 81. I have 1 digit after the point, then 1 digit here. Negative times negative is positive. 15 times 3 is 45. I have 2 digits after the point, then I need 2 digits after the point this way. Here, they're telling you sort these cards into groups that have the same answer. So here you're gonna find that A, E, I, and C are in the same group exactly, showing the answer of 0.024. You're going to find, for example, here in question A, I multiply 4 by 6 is 24, but I have 3 digits after the point. Then I'm going to need 3 digits after the point. I have 1, I have 2. You must put the third by yourself, then the point. So it's 0.024. Question B, F, K, and H, you're gonna find that it is 2.4. The four of them are going to have 2.4. So B, F, K, and H have the same values exactly. J, G, L, and D, they also have the same value exactly, which is 0.24. All right, starting question 5 over here, it is division, which is I need to make the denominator first the same, a whole number. The denominator must be a whole number. Then you're going to multiply this by 10. It will be 60 divided by 3, which is 20. This one multiply both also by 10. It becomes 200 divided by 1, which is 200. This one here multiply both by 100. You're going to find it's 3,600 divided by 18, which is 200. Here, I'm going to multiply by 10 both sides, so it becomes 80 divided by 2, which is 40. Here, you're going to first to do the signs. Positive divided by negative is negative. But mister, this will become 500 divided by 2, multiplying by 100. So it becomes to negative 250. Multiplying it by 100 here also, 4,800, divided by negative 12. The sign emissor would be negative, and I got here 4,800 divided by 12 is going to give me 400. Next, question C, the same thing exactly. C, G, D, H. Make the divisor a whole number, and then you can just start dividing normally. The last one, I'm going to answer it over here. H is just multiplying this by 100, multiplying this by 100. So it becomes here what? Negative 3,000 divided by negative 1. Negative divided by negative is positive. 3,000 divided by 1 is just a 3,000. You do the same thing exactly with the rest of the questions. Here, next, I'm going to multiply this also by 100. This by 100, it will give me 90 divided by 3. 90 divided by 3, which is just 30. This one, multiplying both by 10, 35 divided by 5, which is 7. Here, multiply by 1,000. I need to make this a whole number. So this becomes 80 divided by 4, which is 20. Here, multiply by 100, both, it becomes 25 divided by 5, which is just 5. Work out mentally, that's the same exactly like what we've done up there in multiplication and in division. The same thing exactly. Nothing is different at all. You got the answer key. You can just check your answers. If you make a mistake, then definitely you might make a mistake in the multiplication or the division table, the division facts. So make sure that you multiply correctly, you divide correctly, you use the decimal, you put the decimal place in the right uh, position. So please, you can check the answer key to see what you've got right, what you've got wrong, following the same steps exactly like what we've done so far. Question 8, look at them and decide if the answer is going to be greater or smaller. How, mister? Let's just make a rule. If you're multiplying by greater than 1, definitely the answer gets bigger. Answer gets bigger. All right? If you're dividing by more than 1, answer gets smaller. We all know this, right? We know it ever since year 5. If I'm multiplying, the answer will get bigger. If I'm dividing, the answer will get smaller. But that's if you're multiplying by greater than 1 or you're dividing by greater than 1. But, mister, what do you mean? If I'm multiplying by smaller than 1, the opposite happens. Okay. So, for example, if I'm multiplying 4 by half, oh, that's smaller than 1. The answer is 2. The answer will get smaller. So multiplication, the answer becomes smaller? Yes, if you're multiplying by a number that is smaller than 1. Okay. And what about division? We agreed in division, the answer gets smaller all the time if the divisor is greater than 1. But what if, mister, the divisor is smaller than 1? Then the answer will get bigger. If you do this on a calculator or if you work it out by yourself, you're going to find that the answer is going to be what? 8. You're going to find that the answer is 8. Again, you multiply by greater than 1, the answer is bigger. You divide by bigger than 1, the answer is smaller. Yes, we know this from year 5, mister, but if we're multiplying by smaller than 1 or dividing by smaller than 1, the opposite happens. Good? You must remember this rule. Let's get back to this question. They don't want you to work it out. Just by looking at the question here, they're telling you multiplying this by 1.5. Oh, greater than 1. Master, the answer would be definitely bigger than 11.23. Yes, so this is true. Here I'm multiplying by smaller than 1. Will the answer be bigger than 8.6? No, mister. You're multiplying by smaller than 1. The answer will be smaller than 8.6. Here I'm dividing by I'm dividing by smaller than 1. Will the answer be bigger? So is this bigger than 5.92? Mister, division in normal division, if I'm dividing it by bigger than 1, the answer will be smaller. But here, I'm dividing it by smaller than 1, the answer will definitely, yes, be bigger. So this is definitely bigger than 5.92. Dividing by bigger than 1. Oh, mister, you're dividing by bigger than 1, so the answer will definitely be smaller than 0.49. It's so yes, this is smaller than 0.49. They're telling you that 0.49 is going to be bigger. Yes, 0.49 is bigger than this. Why? Because I'm dividing by bigger than 1, so it is definitely going to be smaller than 0.49. In question 9, they're saying here, this is part of Hassan's homework, and he has got this question. He has worked it out this way. He said 2.5 times 0.2 is 5.0. Let's check this. 2.5 multiplied by 0.2. Why am I doing this? All right. So 0.5 multiplied by 0.2. Ignore the decimals, mister. So 25 times 2 is 50. But I have two decimal places, one here, so I need two decimal places, so it's 0.50. This is the mistake he made in the numerator, it is 0.50. The denominator, ignore the decimal point, 5 times 1 is 5. But I have one decimal place, so it is 0.5. So the numerator is 0.50 over the denominator, which is 0.5. Can I divide right away? No, I can't. The denominator must be a whole number, which is equal to 5 over, because after you multiply this by 10, it's going to be 5.0, which is just 5. And here, if you multiply this also by 10, it's going to become 5. Oh, mister, you mean that this is half and this is already half? Yes, half divided by half is going to be 1. 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1. Anything divided by itself is going to be 1. They both give the same answer exactly. This is 0.50. It's the same as 0.5. Dividing 0.50 by 0.5, it's the same as if you're saying half divided by half. Anything in the world divided by the same thing or divided by itself is going to give me 1. So 0.5 divided by 0.5 is the same as 5 divided by 5, which is the same as just 1. Now you corrected Hassan's mistake. In question 10, they're asking you to work out the answer to each question. We are supposed to answer first to the numerator, then the denominator, then you just divide. Let's choose one of these questions. I'm going to choose the hardest, which is question D. Answering here question D, 80 multiplied by 0.2 multiplied by 0.2 is going to give you what? Let's do it. I'm going to ignore the decimal points first, mister. So it is 80 times 2, then times 2. 80 times 2 is 160. 160 multiplied by 2 is going to be 320. But I have two decimal places, so it's going to be 3.20 over 40 times 4. I'm going to ignore the decimal point, which is going to give me exactly 160. But I have one decimal place, so it is 16.0, which is just 16. So there is no need for the decimal point. 16.0 is just the same as 16. So I've got here 3.20 divided by 16. How can I do it? Mister, the denominator is already a whole number. No need to multiply by anything. So as if you're saying to me, 3.20 divided by 16. Put the point up. 16 goes into 3 0 times, but goes into 32 2 times. And I've got a 0 up there, which means actually nothing after the decimal point. The 0 at the very end means nothing. So it's just 0.2. This is the answer. Question C. I feel like some of you might struggle in this question, question 10. So let's answer it all. All right. Question C. Let's get some empty space. Question C here says to you 0.25 multiplied by 100. So it's going to be 25 over 0.002 multiplied by 25. What is 2 times 25? It is 50. But mister, I have 3 digits after the decimal point. Then I need 3 digits after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. Point is supposed to be here. So multiplying the denominator is going to give me 0.050. Multiplying the numerator is going to give me 25. Can I divide? No, I can't. What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to make the denominator a whole number, multiplying this by 1000. Then I do the same thing up there, also multiplying by 1000. Then the new question would be 25,000 over 50. Let's say bye-bye to these two zeros. 1 0 from the top, 1 0 from the bottom. Now I have 2,500 divided by 5. 25 mm divided by 5 is 5, and I got two zeros. So the answer is just 500. The other two questions are even easier. You're going to follow the same steps exactly. Check the answer key and correct it for yourself. All right, next question here. I'm going to choose a different color. Well, let's erase this. Okay, the first question here says 11 times 1 is just 11. And I need one digit after the point, so 1.1. 11 times 2 is 22, but I need one decimal place. 11 times 3 is 33, and I need one decimal place. 11 times 4 is 44, and I need one decimal place. 11 times 5 is 55, and I need one decimal place. 11 times 6 is 66, and I need one decimal place. Use your answers to part A to answer these questions. When you multiply a number by 0.9, do you expect the answer to be larger or smaller than your answer when you multiply the same number by 0.3? Oh, that's multiplication, mister. The bigger the number I multiply by, the bigger the answer will be. So yes, definitely larger. In multiplication, the bigger the number I multiply by, the bigger the answer will be. Here, when you multiply a number by a decimal between 0 and 1, do you expect the answer to be larger or smaller than the number you started with? Oh, do you remember when we said up there in the question, I guess that was question 7 or 8, I can't really remember, but when we said if you multiply by bigger than 1, answer is definitely bigger. Like when you multiply by 2, when you multiply by 3, when you multiply by 4, mister, definitely the answer will be bigger. But if you multiply by smaller than 1, which is what they mean here, between 0 and 1, it is smaller than 1, answer is definitely smaller. Smaller than the number you started with. So it will be smaller. If you multiply by a number that is between 0 and 1, which is a number that is smaller than 1, the answer will definitely be smaller. All right, let's continue. Work out this, and they are doing the same thing exactly. 8, here you must multiply this by 10. It's a decimal in the denominator or in the divisor. I multiply this by 10. So it's 80 divided by 1, which is 80. Here, it's going to be 80 divided by 2, which is 40. Here, 80 divided by 4, which is 20. It's going to be 80 divided by 5. I'm making the divisor a whole number first by multiplying it by 10. So multiplying this by 10, multiplying this by 10. So it's 80 divided by 5, which is going to give you 14. Okay, then did I do it right? Well, it's 16, I guess. Yes, it is 16. Then here, 80 divided by 8 is going to become 10. Use your answers to part C to answer these questions. When you divide a number by 0.6, do you expect your answer to be bigger or smaller than when you divide the same number by 0.7? So 0.6 and 0.7, which it got when I divide by bigger, Look at this. When you divided the 8 by 0.1, it was 80. But when you divided by 0.8, which is bigger, the answer became 10. It got smaller. So when you divide by bigger, when you divide by bigger, the answer will always be smaller. So here, dividing by zero point 0.6, do you expect your answer to be larger or smaller than when you divide by zero point 0.7? When I divide by zero point 0.6, the answer will definitely be larger. Okay? But when you divide a number by a decimal between 0 and 1, do you remember when we said that dividing by bigger than 1, what happens? Answer is always what? The answer is definitely what? Smaller. Good. That's when I divide by bigger than 1. Yes, and if I divide 40 by 2, it's 20. It's going to get smaller. When you divide 40 by 4, it's going to be 10. It's going to get even smaller. But when you divide by a number that is less than 1, like dividing by half, we said it earlier in this video, dividing by smaller than 1, answer will definitely get bigger. So it will get larger. Dividing by a number that is smaller than 1, it will be larger. Here in this challenge page, they're telling you 45 multiplied by 3.52. What is supposed to happen? They want you to use this fact. 45 times 352 is 15,840. Then what am I going to do? Mister, ignore the decimal point. 45 times 352. Oh, they gave it to me already. 15840. But I have two decimal places, so it is 158.40. The next one, oh, mister, I'm going to ignore the decimal points. It's 15840. But I have two decimal places, so it's going to be here. This one, ignore the decimal point, is going to be 15840. But I have 4, 5, 6 decimal places, so I'm going to need a 0 here and put the point. So it's 0.01. I'm going to write it again. 0.015840. This way I have 6 digits after the decimal point, like in the question. In question D, oh, it's division. Okay, if I divide this by 45, the answer is going to be 352. Okay, if I divide this by 45, the answer is going to be 352. But mister, I have here 3 decimal places. So what am I supposed to do? So I need 3 decimal places also in the answer. 0.352 is the answer. Good? All right. In the second one, oh no, mister, 1 second. You said I cannot even start thinking about it. Don't even think about it. If the denominator is not a whole number, I have to make it a whole number. So it's going to be here multiplied by 100, here multiplied by 100. So it's going to be here 158.40 divided by 45. Okay, mister, now we can do it. I have, as if I have 15,840 divided by 45, it's going to give me 352. But I have 2 decimal places, so it's 3.52. Okay? The next question, they want you to estimate. Estimation here means you round. So estimate and work out the answers to these calculations. Working out is just you multiply normally. Okay? So let's erase this part over here. 6.21. 6.21 is going to be rounded to just 6 times. 43.7 is going to be rounded to 44. Working it out, what is it going to be? 6 times 44 is going to be 240, and 24 is going to be 264. You can just do the normal multiplication, 44 by 6. You're going to find it 264. All right. Next, I'm going to have him to estimate as well. How can I estimate this? So I'm going to make this semester 208 divided by 0.4. Now I can do it 2080 multiplying by 10, multiplying by 10, divided by 4. Now it's very easy to be done even with shorter division. You're going to find that doing the shorter division, let's do it down here, doing the short division, you're going to find that this is 5. There are 5 fours in 20. And then you're going to find here I have a 2 fours in 8 and 0. So it is 520. That's the estimation. I made this 208. I made this 0.4. Now you can multiply by 10 here, 10 here. 2080 divided by 4 is 520. Same thing exactly over here. Let me erase this. 75 multiplied by 4.8 over 0.15. Mister, can I make this 0.2? Yes, that's what we need to do. Actually, I'm going to estimate the denominator. It is going to become 0.2, which is rounding it. And 75, you can do it like 80. Yes, I can do it 80. Multiplied by 4.5 is going to become 5. So 80 times 5, you're supposed to know it mentally. 400, 8 times 5 is 40, and I have another 0, 400 over 0.2. Can I do it this way? No, I must multiply by 10 down, 10 up. It's going to become 4,000 over 2, which is around 2,000. In estimation, you can round in different ways. That's why you might find even different answers in the answer key, but in the checkpoint, they say in the mark scheme to the person who is marking it, they say to us, accept any answer between this number and that number. All right, let's continue. Work out the area of each shape mentally. So 6 times 9 is 54. I have one decimal place, so 5.4. That's what they mean by mentally. There is no need to work anything out. Just 6 by 0.9. Mentally, it's 54, but I have one decimal place. Here, the area of a triangle is half base times height. Get the half of the base. It's 9. So again, area of a triangle equals base times height over 2, or half times base times height. Half the base is 9. 9 multiplied by 0.8 is 7.2 meters squared. And this one is also meters squared. Here, this one, the area of a circle you took before, you took it last year, that it's pi times r squared. Pi r squared, which is going to be what? It is going to be, just a second. Here, pi is 3.1. You need to multiply by 0.2 squared, which means 0.2 multiplied by itself. What is it going to be? 0.2 multiplied by itself is 0.04. So 3.1 multiplied by 0.04, ignore the decimal point, semester. 4 multiplied by 31, what is it going to be? It is going to become 124, but I have 3 decimal places, so 0.124. Here in this one, 0.7, I need to find the area. So I'm going to split the shape this way. All right. 0.4 multiplied by 0.9. 4 times 9 is 36. But I have two decimal places. So 0.36. Here, what is this? The length of this? Mister, all of this is zero point 0.7. Part of it is zero point 0.4. I know that this only is zero point 0.4. Like this one at the top. So the other one is zero point 0.3 definitely. Zero point 0.3 multiplied by zero point 0.4 is going to become 0.12. Adding them up is going to give you the final answer, which is 0.48. Now, let's move to the next question. Question 15 is telling you that there is a rectangle with an area of 0.32. 0.32 is the area. The height of the rectangle is 0.08. Height is 0.08. What is the length of the rectangle? Mister, I know the area of rectangle is length times width. They have given you the width, which is what they called height as well. So no problem at all. To find the length equals area divided by width over 0.08. How did we get this, semester? I know that area is length times width. If you want to find the length, you send the width their division. So it's area over width. I know that the area is length times width. If I want to find the width itself, I do area divided by length. This is how you find the length. This is how you find the width. Area divided by width, area divided by length. So that's what we did here. Area divided by width, 0.32 divided by 0.08 is going to give you that length. So I need to multiply this by 100 down, 100 up, 32 over 8, which is 4. So the length in question 15 is actually 4. Let's erase this. Sorry, just a second. All right. Now it's done. Okay, so the next question says to you, a circle has circumference 2.17. What is the radius of the circle? Well, I want you to postpone working on this. Let's just not work on this now until we take the circles. You took the circles actually in the last year, and you should know what the circumference is, but not all of you remember it, and not all of you took it. So let's just ignore this only for now until we take the circle, and we're gonna practice a lot of questions like this one about the circumference. So for now only, let's just skip question 16. Question 17, write true or false for each statement. If the answer is false, work out the correct answer. All right. Here, they're telling you zero point 0.4 squared is 0.16. Mister, 1 second. Oh, 0.4 squared means 0.4 times 0.4. 4 times 4 is 16, but I have two decimal places, so 0.16. Yes, true. What about B? 1.2 times 1.2, which means 12 times 12, 144. But I have two decimal places, so it is 1.44. Yes, true. What about question C? 0.05 times 0.05 equals 5 times 5 is 25, mister. But I have four decimal places. So 1, 2, I need 3, 4. Then I put the point. Then no, mister, it is false. And you write this answer. They want you to work it out. You write this. Question D. The square root of 0.09 is 0.03. Let's do this. Is 0.03 multiplied by itself? Will it give me this? Definitely no. So 0.03 times 0.03 equals what? I'm going to find 3 times 3 is 9, but I have 4 decimal places in Mister. So I need 3 more zeros here. So, Mister, how can I correct this? You can write this to correct it, or you can write actually this one here. Look, the square root of 0.0009 is 0.03. This is how you can correct it. But this one originally, no, it is wrong. The square root of 0.0009, like what we found here, when I multiply 0.03 by itself, it gave me this, 0.0009. Question E. If I multiply 1.3 by itself, what will it give me? Or when I square it, I mean. I multiply by itself because I want to square it. You're gonna find what? You're gonna find here that 13 times 13. You're gonna find this is 39, and this is here 13,961, which is 169. But I have 2 decimal places, so it is gonna be 1.69, which is correct. So the square root of 1.69 is 1.3, correct. All right, let me tell you something about this, and I guess that we took it before. The square and the square root, they cancel each other. The square and the square root, they just cancel each other. So what will I have left? 0.4 left. So it is true. Okay? Is there any other questions? No. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in another video.